enlist other people into what we call, some of us, call it our inner circle. And so it might be that you need to walk away from relationships. Maybe that's the certain relationships, not everything. Maybe that's the commitment you've made and you're already scared. How do I, do this? But like I said, that fear you have to convert into faith. How do you do that? When you say you can't, you remind yourself you can. When you think you won't, you remind yourself, I'm able to do these things. And when we do that, we begin to see that our commitment level to ourselves is rising. Another way to achieve the commitment is write down your vision. Make it plain. Make it plain. Remind yourself every morning. Keep it somewhere in your place. A lot of people keep stuff on their fridges. Maybe you put a magnet. At times it's by your wardrobe where you will see it repeatedly. And by the time you do that, and you are reminding yourself, I can do all things, I can do this thing, faith will well up within you. A fire will begin to burn. And you know what? The moment you focus yourself on that vision, it will draw. Our minds are like magnets. It draws its own resources. It draws. You might be thinking, oh, how will I do this? The next thing, somebody just comes by you and says, oh, I'm able to do this. And you say, I've been looking for this for a long time. And I use myself as an example. This has happened to me a lot of times. Now, living a focused life does not mean all the time we shoot, you will be on target. And why do I say so? That's the reality. There will be times, this part of your vision, this walking towards your vision, but it's not happening. Now, part of living a focused life is, what do you do when you are waiting? What do you do when you are waiting? And I'll use myself as an example. At some point in my career, I was on the same level for like 8 years. And it was a lot around, are you going to remain here? What are you going to do? And all of that. But I told myself, I said, this is not the end. This is just a bus stop. I need to move. I went for interviews and things like that. But I made up my mind that was the time to be the best version of myself. And, I invested in myself. For you to achieve your vision, to live a focused life, you're going to invest in yourself. No one will do it for you. John Maxwell, he's my mentor and he coaches me. And he would say that, if you can't buy you, why will other people invest in you? And so I invested in myself. I took some courses, went to certain business schools. People, when you look at me, I wasn't growing in my career because, hey, I was on the same level for 8 years. And I told myself, I said I would grow. So I took some courses in business school. I took a lot more responsibility. Did I feel that, Odunayo, you haven't moved? Yes. But I told myself it wasn't going to weigh me down, because if I focused on it, then I would have lost focus. I would have, probably just taken an irrational decision. And I told myself, you would grow. I did, God knows, all kinds of projects in my organization. I would volunteer, even the one that wasn't my because I felt it was a time to learn. It was, for me then, I was in the wilderness, and it was a time to just soak up a lot. So in living and leading a focused life, we at times will experience droughts. They will experience some setbacks, but the setback should be a bounce back for us. And how do you do that? Have a plan for yourself. These commitments don't waver, even when it looks like things are not working. There were times I would run interviews 3 times before I eventually get the job. But I was focused because I had that clarity of vision that, look, this is what I want to do. And I do this whether for my career or my social life. This is where I want to be. These are the organizations I want to belong to. This is the level I want to play at. And the confidence, I can't do it by myself. It's just because I believe that God has given me all that pertains to life, and He has given it to all of us. And so it is how we use it that makes the difference between us and every other person. Now, when you do that, you equip yourself. You can have a vision. You can know your distractions. You can know your commitment, your three commitments. But are you equipping yourself to overcoming the distractions? Are you equipping yourself to be able to pull through and realize your commitment? And I'll just use a simple example. Some of us here, a number of us I see, might be career people, and some people, maybe they run their businesses. You have a vision for your business, you have a vision for your career, or you even have a vision for your spiritual life. Because we must then have all of this, in the different compartments. Please Google what we call the wheel of life. It just shows us, when you just Google it, it just tells you the compartments of our lives. So it tells us, the spiritual part, our health, our finances, our relationships, our career, and all of that. And the fact that we have to be balanced across all. So that means you must have, your vision must be complete. You can't just have a good vision for your career and then your health is suffering. You can't have a good vision for your health, your spiritual life is suffering. You can't, so you have to, it has to be a balanced vision. And what this does for you is that the moment you identify the distractions and all of that, you are able to then identify the gap that exists. What do I need to do that moves me closer to this vision that I have outlined? Now, one thing we must also know, and I know that we know, is that our lives are in times and seasons. Time is the currency of life. If we waste our time, then we're wasting our life. What resources do you have? How are you going to use your time to focus on your vision and achieve it? And there could be many things. For some people, it will be that, I want to read more, I want to talk less. I told myself that one time, I want to talk less and listen more. And it worked for me. Of course, there are times I have to remind myself, but that is it. So it will differ from person to person, but that is part of equipping ourselves. And one thing it could be that at work, you believe that you need to get a certification. You can do this, but you've done this, but you need to formalize it. You need to get a certification by all means. You need to learn more about a certain aspect of life because you need it. That is where you say your distractions are. But are we willing to make that commitment to ourselves? Nobody's going to do it for us. We're going to do it by ourselves. And of course, as I begin to round up, and mind you, I've not come here, like I said, I deliberately adopted this approach because it is within us. When we are okay, when we are, my people, I'm Yoruba, but my people, and I believe this exists in every language. When you have a big bag to carry and you stand with your arms akimbo, or how do they say it? And you think people will come and help you lift that. They won't. But the moment people see you put a hand to it, everybody comes around to help you to lift that heavy burden. And what do I mean? We are the first nurturers of our vision. Vision builders will come when they see that we've taken step 1, step 2, step 3. But if we wait, you understand, if we think, oh, the vision will just happen, I will just live a focused life somehow, it doesn't happen somehow. We must work towards it. So, my dear sisters, it's already 6:51. You can read this book by John Maxwell, The Intentional intentional living or the intentional life. That's what it's called. But what I've tried to do this evening is to say that the power of living or leading a focused life is here, is with us. And so if we do, is because we decided to break the barriers. We decided to step out of our comfort zone. We decided to look at fear, eyeball to eyeball, and say that you're not going to stop me. I'll rather try to be the best version of myself and make mistakes in the process. And the truth is that God is with us, than not having tried, at all. So like I've said, the first thing is the vision of your future. You've written it down. What are the distractions? What are the commitments we have made? Now, Bukola, I think it's important, if people are open to it, for people to be paired and to have like accountability partners. It works well. Somebody that can ask you, and if you decide, it could be your family member, it could be your husband, your siblings, it could be, whoever, it could be your friend, but someone who can ask and say, how far are you doing with, the commitments that you made to yourself? Let me round up by also saying, there will never be time, we'll never have time to do anything. But we have time for the things. We create time for the things that we cherish. To do things, there will never be time. Oh no, I can't. I could have called Bukola yesterday to say, Bukola, do you know I can't make this this event, blah blah blah. But we create time for the things that mean something to us. So, sisters, I leave it off there. I know I might have come at it from an angle that you didn't expect, but that was the whole plan. Just to tell us that, you see, this living a focused life, we can read all the books. So we can read 50 books on 50 steps to leading a focused life, 50 this, but the only time that we would truly move is when we realize that, God He's given us the power to do this thing, and we focus and we do, we just break our distractions, we deal with our distractions, and we leave our commitments. Thank you very much. And thank you for taking time out to grow yourselves this evening. And of course, I thank you, Bukola, for allowing me to be a part of this. I've also benefited. I've written a few things down that I need to go back and continue to work on. So that's it. Thank you.
Wow. Odu, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been writing. I know, funny enough, I've been looking for something about that wheel of life. Early this year, I was trying to plan my life around all those areas, but what I got was like an abridged version of the wheel of life. But now you've told me what I'm looking for. I was
Great.
so much grateful. Thank you so much. Sisters, we have like 5 minutes for people that have questions. Q&A. I can see Angela is raising her hand. Please, if you want to ask questions, please just raise your hand, and then I'll take us one after the other. And let's keep our microphone muted so that we can hear each other. So, Angela, the floor, please. Okay, Angela, you've dropped your hand. Okay, I can see Ako Jane. Jane, please, can you go?
Yeah, thank you very much, Madam Udwayo. I joined late because I actually forgot the time, really. So the few minutes I joined, I am blessed beyond measure. Yeah, what of cases where I don't know what I missed actually. Maybe is what you've talked about, like managing the family. It's a bit challenging. Like you are a career woman, you have desire to get to that kidda, like that kidda where you could breathe in and say, yes, I've achieved. There's so many things you want to achieve in, I don't know, you want to just achieve. The family is there looking at you, gazing at you, like you need to take care of family and your commitments, your personal development. Like, how can one manage all of this? And please, I don't mind if I could even come for personal counseling, because at this junction, it's like I need help. Thank you.